All right, so it says find the length of the intercepted arc. So what they're saying here is that there's an arc here, the
Yeah.
pizza, the crust, if you will.
Uh-huh.
This is 4 pi over 7 radians. Radius is 14.7. The formula is S equals R times theta. You are given the radius 14.7 and the angle is 4 pi over 7. So you just have to multiply those two numbers together, round to 1 decimal place.
Okay, cool. Let me do that real quick then. Let me try to, 1 second. All right, where'd the calculator go? Here it is.
Again, I like that Desmos Scientific. Might try it if you get some time on your own.
Yeah, that's what I'm on right now.
Awesome.
All right. It's 14.7 times the
Angle 4 pi over 7.
okay, thanks. Times I got 26.38937.829.
Okay, so 26.4 when you go to 1 decimal place.
Okay.
So whenever you're ready, if you want to share your screen, we can look at a new problem.
I'll pull it up 1 second. There's colors on this one.
I see that.
Yeah.
All right.
Throwing me off.
Let me grab a snip here. Okay, here we go. It says the rotation of the smaller wheel in the figure causes the larger wheel to rotate. Find the radius of the larger wheel in the figure if the smaller wheel rotates 80 degrees when the larger wheel rotates 50 degrees. Okay, so this has got a known formula which I don't have off the top of my head. So our options are for me to kind of figure this out or to move on to another question because
Let's just move on to another question then.
All right.
Let me do the screen share. Hold on.
And our goal is just to get past the 60%, right? So if we get up to like 15 or 16 of these, right, that should be enough to move you through.
Hopefully.
Okay, so this is a good one to do here. Let me grab a snip of this question. All right, so the area of the sector of a circle having radius r and central angle theta. So the way to do this here is to, there is a formula, but we are finding the area of the pizza slice here, okay? And so I prefer to do it this way where I take the angle and divide it by 2 pi. And that looks really complicated, but it's the fraction of the circle basically is what this is. And then you multiply by pi r squared, 11.6 squared like that. So the formula here is typically pi r squared, but you have to take your angle and divide it by the 2 pi here for this. So a lot of times you'll just see it this way in books, 1/2 theta r squared. So we can also use that formula. I've probably made it too confusing. It is this mess on the left here. It is also 1/2 pi over 6. Sorry, pi over 10. You're given pi over 10. Your radius is 11.6 squared like that. So if you want to grab a calculator, see if you can work through that. I'm going to do the same just to make sure we
Okay.
both got it.
If I put in like 3.14 instead of pi, would that work too? I'm just curious.
You might have to go out more than that. It might work. I can't say for sure. It depends on the other numbers in the problem. And as you mentioned yesterday, like if you're even one digit off, it just won't take it.
Yeah, that sucks. And like nothing's multiple choice, so
Yes.
it's
This
really
was a surprise.
sad.
Sometimes the midterms are multiple choice, through the
It better be multiple choice.
just for easy grading. But yeah, so both of these do work. Just snip those in case you want to look at them later. There they are. So rounding to the nearest 10th, that's 1 decimal place.
Yeah, okay, I got the wait, what am I rounding it to again?
1 decimal place. So that
Just 21.
0.1, the
Oh,
first decimal place, the 3 keeps it as is.
1.1. Okay. Let me see. Let me do the screen share 1 second.
All right, yeah, this has got quite a bit here. So is there more beyond the sine, cosine, tangent there? If you scroll down,
Yeah,
okay, so it's all 6 of them.
yeah, it sucks.
I appreciate your directness. A lot of people aren't as direct. And,
Yeah, no, I freaking hate math.
yeah. Right. So there is kind of an order here to doing this. The first one is to do sine. Sine of theta is the y value.
Mm-hmm.
Cosine of theta is the x value.
Okay.
Okay, so those are your first 2 answers. If you want to get those down, those come right from this circle.
Let me do that real quick then. They should have put cosine first then. That'd be easier.
The reason they do it this way is to find tangent is the ratio of sine and cosine.
Yeah, but like if you always put x before y, then your brain, it's like easier to remember that cosine's always x.
I would agree.
Yeah. All right, let me put that in real quick. All right. How do I find tangent?
Okay, so tangent is the ratio of these. So it's the sine value square root of 3 over 2 over negative 1/2. And this is where you have to multiply by the reciprocal. So it becomes square root of 3 over 2 times 2 over negative 1.
Okay, so is it like the square root of 6 over?
Nope, the 2's cancel.
Oh, they
You cannot multiply inside the root.
Okay.
And then the negative comes up. So the final answer here is negative square
Wait,
root
why
of
is the
3.
negative? Oh, sorry, I thought you meant the negative becomes positive. I was confused. Or okay, so tangent is just negative square root of 3.
Yes.
Cool. Let me put that in. Okay. How do I find secant?
Okay,
Is
so
it
let's
like the reciprocal of?
So the first one might be cosecant of theta, and that's the reciprocal of sine.
Yeah, so it's just oh crap, I have to rationalize. So it's like
Yes,
2 times the square root of 3/3.
yes. Unfortunately, yeah, you do have to rationalize.
That's dumb.
Yeah, it's an extra step. Although I think the Pearson will take it without rationalizing.
No, I won't ever take it without rationalizing. It's the worst.
All right, so for secant, it's the same thing. You're gonna flip the 2 and the -1.
So is it just
Yeah.
-2?
Yep.
Okay.
And for cotangent, which I wouldn't
Is
really,
that the opposite of tangent?
it's the reciprocal of tangent. So the
Yeah.
reciprocal, or think of tangent as minus square root of 3/1. So it's 1 over minus square root of 3. And then you do have to rationalize. You actually remembered that. A lot of students don't have any idea about that. And so, I mean, that gives me some
Because
hope. When you,
rationalizing's stupid. It's not getting rid of anything. It's just making it more complicated.
it's it kind of makes it pretty if you believe that roots on the bottom are ugly.
That's
Kind
a
of
lie created by elite.
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, maybe. These are
I
just the
like the
rules.
roots on the bottom. Let me do that real quick. What was it again? It was okay. Oh wait, I forgot to make it a thingy. 1 second. Okay.
So whenever you're ready, if you want to share another problem.
Let me pull it up 1 second.
Yeah, this isn't too bad. This is just going to the unit circle and finding certain values here. So is it sine, cosine, and what else? What's the third one? Just tangent?
Yeah, wait, what does S stand for again?
They use S for the angle. Like think of it as the cosine of S, sine of S.
Why don't they just use like theta or whatever?
I don't know. So the sine of minus 2 pi is, if you go to the unit circle where you start, what's the
Yeah.
y value there?
Let me see. Let me find it. Hold on. The sine of -2.
Yeah, just at the origin there. What is that?
Wait, where? Oh, wait, I don't see it. You said the -2, the
No,
negatives on like the other bottom half.
at 0. Think 2 pi and 0 are at the same place. -2 pi is also at the same place.
Oh, the coordinates.
Just the y value there.
Oh, 0.
Well, yes,
Okay,
yes. The first one is 0.
it's just 0.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then cotangent. Let me. How do is cotangent negative? Wait, no.
That's
Is it?
cosine is the x value.
Yeah. Wait. Is it -1 or does it become like it's -1, right?
It's just 1. It's just the
Is
x
it
value.
because
It's just the x value. There's no more interpretation than that.
wait, so am I looking at the right thing? Because the the coordinates or whatever for
All right, so let me share my screen. I was trying, like, this is not meant to be complicated. I know it probably feels really complicated. So let me just quickly show you.
okay.
Okay, so this right here is 0 and 2 pi. It's also minus 2 pi because minus 2 pi is going the other direction all the way around.
Oh, I was looking at the left, my bad.
Okay, so the sine of minus 2 pi is just the y value there. The y value is 0. The cosine of minus 2 pi is the x value there, which is 1.
Okay.
The tangent of minus 2 pi is the y value over the x value, 0 divided by 1. What does that become? Do you remember?
0.
Yes, just 0.
Okay, cool. Because it's when it's in the denominator that it's undefined, right?
Yes, exactly.
All right, cool. All right. We go to the next one. Wait, did I answer this? Whoops. Okay, I'm gonna do the share screen thingy.
Okay.
I think I accidentally skipped this one. It says find the exact function value of tangent. Let me find where it says 5/3.
So that is
Is
again
it
on,
the 1/2 as the cosine and then the square root of 3, negative square root of 3/2 as the sine?
yes. So you have to do the y over the x value and then reduce.
All right, so it's like negative, negative square root of 3/2 times
Good. Keep
2
going.
over 1, which is
Yes,
2.
very good. And so the
Um,
2's cancel.
yeah. 2 over 1. What does that make it?
Just this negative square root of 3.
Okay. Let me do that real quick.
Oh, looks good.
Cool.
So I think a couple more and you'll have that full thing there. This one requires some more work. Let me go ahead and grab a snip of this problem. It's not a difficult problem, so it's worth doing, but it does
Okay.
require kind of a little more effort. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay, let's let that load up here. All right, so the angle that they're giving you is not on the unit circle. So whenever the angle is too big or too small, you either add or subtract 2 pi. And in this case, you will subtract 2 pi from it. When you subtract 2 pi or add 2 pi, what it does is it just takes you back where you were. But in this case, it reduces the a fraction here. So you have to make a common denominator. That's what you're asking me about earlier. In this case, it's 6. So it becomes 12 pi over 6. And then you subtract, get 5 pi over 6.
Wait, why does it become 5 pi over 6?
You're subtracting 2 pi
Oh, so you keep subtracting 2 pi until it becomes a number that's on there.
or add 2 pi if it's the wrong way negative. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good. So now
And then
now
5 pi over 6. Let me find it. Is it the cosine is the negative square root of 3/2 and the sine is the 1/2?
yeah, so you're looking for now where cosine of pi over 6 is on the unit circle, which is right here, and you
Yeah.
want the x value.
And x value is the negative square root of 3/2.
Yeah, so this is your answer. It won't accept this, but this is your answer. I mean, but you can manipulate it from here. So you can think of this as 1 times the reciprocal, 2 over negative square root of 3.
Yeah.
Okay, and so this does become 2 over the square root of 3. I'm going to bring the negative to the top.
So it's negative 2 times the square root of 3/3.
Yes.
All right,
Very
cool. Let me
good.
do that real quick. Let's see.
That's good. You've definitely seen this before. If you were able to do that, the way you were able to do that, I can tell you've seen this.
The stupid rationalize the denominator thing. Let me see. Okay, so let me do the screen share real quick. It says determine if it's positive or negative.
Yeah, so this is all about you're using your calculator. You're just going to type sine of 3 in your calculator, but your mode has to be in radians, because notice there's no degree symbol
Okay.
there.
Yeah.
Now in the Desmos, there's a toggle between degree and radian.
Okay.
And I'll show you that here. Well, I'll snip that in to the notes here.
Is it like 0.14112?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So it is positive in this case.
Positive. All right, cool. How many questions are there? Okay, let me see what 14 out of 20 is.
And that we keep in mind, we might have made one or two, if anything was entered wrong, we don't want to redo it. So maybe do one or two more,
Okay, where's
Just-
where to go? Hold on.
especially if there's any sort of click the box type problems. Those are always good.
Yeah.
All right. So this one, you are undoing secant, but and this is a calculator problem here. Let me grab a snip of it just to kind of give some brief explanation of it. All right, share screen. Okay, so you can undo secant with what's called secant inverse.
You can put that in a calculator, right?
Yeah, that the Desmos will have it, but you're going to take the secant inverse of both sides, 1.3685. And it's, you got to go find it. Well, actually I take it back. This one does not have a secant inverse. So you have to do it differently. You have to do 1 over cosine inverse of 1.3685. So if you don't have the secant, which I didn't know that this would not have, but that is the case here. And then it's 1.3685. And that is undefined. Why would that be?
Wait, so we're using the cosine thingy because the calculator doesn't have the secant inverse?
That's right. Except this does not have. Let me do this differently because I don't know why the calculator is not working here.
Okay.
Y equals secant of x. So the next thing I do is I go and graph it, which we'll do when we need to at some point. But then we're looking for where y equals 1.3685. And we're going from 0 to pi over 2.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, I'm just reading this out loud, just
Yeah,
0
okay.
to pi over 2, trying to figure out why why this didn't work. Okay. Yeah, so there's the value. Why doesn't the calculator like that? Okay, let me go to another thing.
What? Oh, wait, hold on. My birds are being loud. 1 second.
Sure.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, so I was able to figure out the issue here. It kind of has to do with the calculator, and then what I wrote down wasn't quite correct. Do you just want the answer? Or do you want an explanation at this point?
Can I have an explanation?
Yep. Okay, so let me just clear out some of this to kind of restart the problem here. So secant is really 1 over cosine s. And we want to now cross multiply. So like 1 times 1 equals 1.3685 times cosine S, and then divide both sides by the 1.3685. And the reason we do that is because we now have it for cosine. We now have cosine S equals 1 over 1.3685. And this is where you can do the reciprocal, or the inverse, sorry, not reciprocal, cosine inverse of 1 over 1.3685 will give you the 0.7514. So it's about manipulating the cosine or secant into 1 over cosine in this problem.
Okay. Wait, so wait, where did the 1.3685 come from?
That's given.
Oh,
That's given, but you got to write secant as 1 over cosine.
okay.
And then you kind of just rearrange the equation. You've seen that in other classes, so I just did the cross multiplying approach.
Okay.
And then you get cosine on one side, which is 1 over the original, and then you take the cosine inverse of that. It has to be mode radian.
Okay. I kind of get it, but I don't know, but whatever. I don't have enough time. Wait, what was the answer again?
0.7514. It's just around to 4 decimal places. All right, so whenever you're ready, if you want to share your screen again, we'll look at some more questions.
Okay. Let me do that real quick. 1 second.
All right, so this one is a bit more involved here. Let me grab a snip of this.
Does it matter that it has like the bracket on the left instead of the parentheses?
It does not. They're just trying to say you include 0, but not 2 pi on this.
Okay, so I can just ignore that, right?
You don't have to think too hard about it, at
Okay,
least for these
cool.
problems. Okay, so you're trying to solve this equation here, sine squared S equals 1/4. And the analogy would be like if you were solving something like x squared equals 1/4, you would square root both sides. And that's what you do here on the left. You square root sine squared S plus or minus the square root of 1/4. Now on the left, it becomes just sine S, but on the right, it's both positive and negative 1/2. Okay, if you go to your calculator, square root of 1/4 becomes 1/2. So here's what this means. You're now looking on the unit circle from 0 to 2 pi. So you got to go back to your unit circle, and you're figuring out where the y values are 1/2 or negative 1/2. So I'm going to snip in a unit circle and try to show you that here. Sorry, just taking a moment to grab that snip. Here we go, got the snip. So you're looking and you start here, and generally you go counterclockwise. That's kind of the standard. And you're looking for where the y values are 1/2. So see how there's a y value there of 1/2?
Yeah.
That's one of the answers, pi over 6. And then you keep looking. You're like, oh, there's another one. There's another one that's 1/2 or negative 1/2. So that's 5 pi over 6. That's one of your answers. And then you keep going. Oh, there's another one, minus 1/2. That corresponds to 7 pi over 6. And then you keep going down, 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 and you get your last one here, 11 pi over 6.
Okay.
So there's 4 answers. You got to separate them by commas.
That sucks.
It's not, you know, I don't know what you enjoy, but it's definitely not, like playing with your birds.
Yeah.
This is not pleasant.
It's not very fun. But playing with birds isn't really fun either because they just poop on you.
Yeah, but they show caring and kindness and
No, they don't.
no. Okay.
Wow, they're evil. They're like actually the worst, and they're so demanding. And then they steal all my food, and then they sleep on my bed and I can't get them off. So yeah.
Oh. What kind of birds do you have?
I have 5 birds. I have 3 cockatiels and 2 ducks.
Oh, nice.
Ducks live outside because they're ducks and they like poop so much.
Yes, yes, they do.
Dude, like they could pollute the entire ocean within 24 hours. That's how much they poop.
They're busy. Okay, whenever you're ready, if you want to share another question, we might have enough if you wanted to submit that. I'm not sure. It's kind of a risk, but happy to keep
Let
doing a
me
few
just
questions.
see 1 second. Let me pull it up. I'm just gonna submit the test. I'm gonna do
Okay.
it.
All right.
All right, cool. You got an 80%, which
Right.
means 100 because those are the only ones that we went over. Okay, cool. Let me go to. Did I hit share screen yet? No, I didn't.
No. Whenever you're ready, you can share your screen. We'll keep going.
Okay. I also hate this thing because there's no back button. So you can't like go back to look at the thing, which is why I always have like 50 of these exact tabs open because it's like the worst thing ever. That was chapter 3. Now I have to do this chapter 4 skills check. Let me see. There's like a trick to this, right? I don't remember what it is.
I think graphing it would help. But for now, let me go ahead and just grab a snip of it and then do a quick sketch so you can see it. You can rate my ability to draw here, which isn't great, but do my best here.
Okay.
Let that load up. All right, so this thing, if you were to go to Desmos and graph it, it's going to look something like this. It's going to look like a parabola that's shifted up. So the question is, like, if you were to draw a line down, for example, the x-axis is right here. Is it a mirror? Like, do you see the thing mirrored over this line? Same on the top and the bottom.
No, it's like it's
But
flipped.
what
Mirrored over
about this one?
the. Yeah, it's only flipped over the y-axis, right?
And the origin is there, so it is just letter B.
So if it was on the origin, then I'd include C.
Yeah,
right?
so the one that like would satisfy all 3 of them is a circle. Because if you draw any line, vertical, horizontal, or the point, it's going to be right on there in
Okay,
terms of it.
I'm gonna do the screen share thing.
Okay.
I just
Okay.
did this stuff last semester. I don't remember it at all.
This one is odd. Would you like some explanation or
Yeah,
just
what
go?
is the trick thingy to it?
Well, it's got a few steps here. So great. Share my
Oh, what? I thought there was a trick.
Well, there kind of is, but it won't work for every problem. I mean, you gotta that. Do you want me to tell you kind of the one that works 80% of the time?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it is here. It's if the all exponents. I'm gonna write this down. All exponents are odd, then it is odd, and if all exponents are even, then it's even. But in both cases, it can have no constants. Like it couldn't have like a +5. You're not allowed to have that. So if the exponents are odd, see how it's a 7 and 5? That's why it's odd. If it were like f of x equals 4x squared plus 3x to the 4th, because those are even, it's even.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so if you want to share your screen whenever you're ready, we can look at another question.
Okay, let me do that real quick.
This one is graph B. You can check that out later. It's a parabola shifted up 4 units.
Oh yeah, because the 4 is the y-axis.
Vertical shift of 4.
What?
It's
What
a
about, wait,
it just means it's moved up 4 units.
oh, okay, yeah.
Okay,
This
this
one's
one,
up 3 units.
it's also left 2. So that +2 means left 2, up 3.
Why is the +2 mean left 2? I would have assumed it meant right 2 because the right's the positive side.
Yeah, and I agree that it is awkward. It is the guideline for this. It's because horizontal transformations are not the intuitive ones. They're the ones that are opposite of what you think they should be.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Um,
So left 2, up 3. Yes,
all
there you
right,
go.
cool. Oh, let me see. So this one,
So this one's got some more work. Like if you had a graphing calculator, you could graph each of those and see which one it matched up with.
it's not C, right?
The way I'm looking at it is it's got its y-intercept is negative, so it's either A or D. And the reason is both A and D have a -8 in there. On the right, do you see that all the way
Wait,
on the
B
right?
doesn't,
A and D, alpha and dog.
B doesn't have it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not looking at it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, no, sorry, I was just confused.
No, it's my fault. B does have, so it's A, B, or D. A is a negative leading coefficient, which would cause it to open down.
Okay, so it's
So
not A.
it's not A. So it's either B or D. And you don't have enough information to decide between them.
So I have to
So
graph it.
what would I, well, you could graph it here. Let me, so
Can you
if
tell anything by it being positive, it being +2x or -2x?
you can factor it and then you know what it is, but that's not really a good
I don't
enough
want to
way.
do that because I don't know how to do that. I
Right,
forgot.
right. So the next thing would be to just sit there and say, okay, I'm going to graph it and, see which one it matches. And I'm graphing them both just to tell you that it is the letter B,
Okay, cool. Thanks.
which I think you could reasonably graph here if you needed to.
Perhaps.
Okay, yeah, let me grab a snip of this because you got to do it twice. Let's do that. All right. All right, it's almost there. Sometimes just takes a little bit to get these snips right. Okay, share my screen. There we go. All right, so letter A, when you see that here, it says f of -x equals f of x, and that's what's called an even function. It's symmetrical about the y-axis. Okay, so you're gonna connect. Maybe you do this when you're doing some of your artwork design stuff. Is you just make a symmetry
Yeah, there's a
over,
symmetry tool for that. You just
yeah, and you just
hit it.
pop it over.
Or you can just copy paste the
Right,
image, flip it.
right. Now
Wait, why does it even? So if it has like a negative, it's even?
yes.
Oh, okay.
So the other one here, the second one is what's called odd. This is odd symmetry or
Yeah,
origin, and it's a rotation. So it's a little bit harder to maybe visualize, but you rotate each piece about let me get this other one. What is that right there? So it looks like that. So hopefully you can see that rotation stuff there.
Wait. So that one, so the even one, that one's even because the f of x on the right side doesn't have a negative before the
That's
f.
right. That's right.
Okay, and then so even ones don't have a negative before the f of x, and then odd ones do have a negative f
Yeah,
in the f of x.
yes.
All right, okay, let me just take a picture real quick. All right. Um, 1 second, I'm just selecting the answer.
Okay.
Okay. Let me do this screen share thing. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know this. Forgot.
Okay, let me see here. Okay, so probably easier if I just talk you through this. It is the graph of, so go ahead and hit the drop down there, the absolute value, the first one. It's because it's a V. Now it's translated 1 unit to the left and reflected across the x-axis and translated 5 units up.
Wait, how'd you get the 1 and 5? Is that just because,
So look where the V is at the top there. That's 1 left and 5 up.
oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so to do the equation, you first type in the absolute value there within the right there. Yep. Okay. Yeah, I would hit where your mouse is to kind of get the,
Oh, I didn't see that, my bad.
yeah, maybe clean that out and then. Okay, now inside there it's x plus 1. The reason it's plus 1 is because left is plus in this world. And then if you go outside it and type in plus 5 to the right there, that
Because
gives you the up
5
5.
on y.
Now in front of it is a negative because it's going down. That's the reflection part.
Okay.
All right, I'm even more here. Okay, so this one is increasing where it's going up and to the right. So notice it's going up and to the right until it gets to -2.
Yeah.
So it's everything from negative infinity, so parentheses, open parentheses there, negative infinity, comma, -2, close parenthesis.
I don't know why we even have to do this stuff because like it's not really related with the actual.
Yeah, it's probably just a quick algebra review because you might use it in the next
It's
part of
just
the
there to
course.
shame us for not remembering algebra. That's why it's there.
All right, so this one is decreasing when it's going down into the right. So from minus infinity and parentheses minus infinity. So all the way comma to 0. So 0 being the x value there. I don't know if you need a space. It looks like you might have added a space. I don't know if that'll matter. You know, picky these things are. And let's see if we should be able to get 10 done. Basically, it's going down and to the right from minus infinity to 0. And then it increases from 0 to infinity, goes up and to the right.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. So where is this function is
It
continuous
is continuous, right?
everywhere. Or nope, is that a hole there in the graph? Looks like there's a hole in the graph. Do you see that? There kind of to
What
the,
does the whole mean again? I thought that was only on like the thingies, I don't know what they're called.
all right. So we need that x value. Looks like it's at -1, 2, 3, -3 maybe. Okay. So we're going to go parentheses, negative infinity to -3. Okay, close parentheses, and then comma.
I don't see
Open.
the union button.
Oh, you don't need the union. It says comma there. I thought it was union. Open parentheses, -3 to infinity, -3 comma infinity. So that's the way you express that in close parentheses, that you're just excluding -3. All right,
Okay.
so I'm going to go ahead and
Yeah, it looks like it's 9